All right, welcome to Mourning the Morning. My name is Nicholas Nieblas. Sean will be joining us on Friday. But I thought I might start doing this kind of thing and see how it goes. We're going to just start by checking in. I've been going through a lot lately in just the last little bit, but something I've been doing is reading a lot. If you have not gotten yourself an Audible subscription yet, what are you doing? It's time to do that. So get on board with that Audible and make that happen, okay? I'm trying to change the microphone, but it's got to move different ways because of the thing. So, all right. Let me double check, make sure that this stream is going to be... I just unplugged my phone. God, I got it. I'm going to make sure this stream pops out there on the social medias. So I'm going to grab this, see if it's coming up. Where is it? Let's find it. If you're doing, you should do the same thing right now. You should share it and show everybody what's happening. Yay, I'm live. There we are. All right, let's make sure volume's down because we don't want to do that. And then here we go. And then we're going to be getting into a few things today. In just about an hour or so, it's going to be a good time. I'm going to share this. Join me and chat. There we go. And I'll just put this here. Make sure we get our comments up. Wonderful. There's just a bunch of me's on the screen right now because it's, I'm trying to make the thing all happen. Okay. All right. Check it out. Look at that. Let's start off by checking in. Hey. I gotta love doing the graphics and stuff. We're gonna be checking in, and like I said, Audible. If you don't read, you're not advancing your life. If you don't read, you're not making yourself smarter, better, stronger, all that good stuff. I feel like reading is what really kind of propelled me over the last few years to kind of do some cool shit, and really inspired me to be like, oh, I can actually go and do things. So one of the things that I'm currently doing is doing a short film. I just finished that, rewriting it a bunch. And now we're finally going to be filming it hopefully in the next few months. The only reason why I know anything about what I know about writing or making movies or anything is because of reading. So get an Audible account. It's like $10 to $15 a month or something. You get one Audible credit a month, and it's delicious. You just the thing is too, they have an unlimited return policy. That's what I'm saying. So you could just return stuff, and then just you even if you get one credit, you'd be like, I'm gonna buy this book, I'm gonna read it. Oh, I liked it, but I'm not gonna read it again. So let me just return this book. They got a no questions asked policy. I'm gonna go and get a different book. And guess what? That means you have unlimited books essentially. Just keep returning books you finish reading. There are some books that I kept that I'm like, I'm going to read these again. I just finished reading The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Probably should have read it when I was 12. But right now, I was just like, this is the best time to read this for me because I got to get my shit together. So 35 is a pretty good age to get your shit together, I would think. Other than that, kids are in school. I'm home alone all the time. That's why I'm constantly tearing apart and putting back together this music room. But this is why I'm also going to be streaming, because I'm like, hey, man, I got time. Let's do some shit. Why not? Other thing about checking in with me, hey, I smoke a lot of marijuana. Mainly because I used to use Adderall for my ADHD, and I realized the side effects of that were pretty bad. Not bad, but so much as I had mood swings and I was upset a lot. Because it was just it would be a huge crash. But with marijuana, there is not a huge crash, and I feel like it helps me focus. So, better to not use amphetamines, I would say. Either way. Other than that, let's move on to the next piece of thing. What are we doing? Okay, we're done with checking in. Let's get into my favorite subject, the news. What are we doing here? All right. I got something special for you here because I also got my web browser. That's right. Let's take a look at the news. I don't even want to talk politics right now because the thing with politics right now is it's too early, right? It's too early. There's people I like. I love Bernie. There's some questions about his age. I don't think there's any questions about his age, honestly. The dude, like he said, follow him on the campaign trail. Follow him on the campaign trail. The dude's he's spry. Okay, so I don't really worry about that. I think that he's got a little bit of a stigma on him about like the whole socialism thing that a lot of Americans aren't going to be getting over, right? So I think that as we educate our society, we're going to learn more and more that, hey, socialism isn't necessarily evil. There are aspects of all of these things that we, can understand and utilize. Like there's a social democracy aspect of it. Like healthy people and educated people aren't going to lead to a total communist government. Okay? Like let's just be honest. Like if the government helps you pay for your medical stuff and they make sure that you're educated and safe and all that kind of stuff, then it's when you start just saying like, government completely, be in charge of my decisions, of course, handing over the reins of businesses and whatnot. But then again, you got to consider everybody needs a cell phone now, right? So that's basically a utility. What are utilities? Things, public services, things that everyone needs. I don't know. Let's take a look here. Guantanamo. Can we just close Guantanamo, please, already? It's not okay. It's not. Like, our Constitution says how people should be given fair and speedy trials, right? So we should be doing that. We should be making sure that people are taken care of. Whether they are foreign or not, whether they are terrorists or not, we need to be trying these people, putting them through the system, and closing off these black sites or Guantanamo bays and stuff like that. It doesn't make sense. It's inhumane. Let's see. BBC doesn't really have too much going on, or NPR doesn't have too much going on right now. I'm going to go over to the BBC, see what they got going on. I know they were talking about some Justin Trudeau action. Now, judges rule Parliament suspension is unlawful. That should be... Oh. Scotland's highest court says Boris Johnson, who've recently called for a... let's just read this here. A panel of 3 judges at the Court of Session found in favor of a cross-party group of politicians who were challenging the Prime Minister's move. The judges said the PM was attempting to prevent Parliament holding the government to account ahead of Brexit, which, if you know anything about this, is probably true. I mean, it is true. Like, Boris Johnson essentially said, hey, to the Queen, we're going to suspend Parliament. It's right before you do your big speech thing, so, like, they usually suspend Parliament. They usually suspend Parliament, I think the most was, like, 2 weeks, maybe. But now he's trying to suspend Parliament for, like, 5 weeks beforehand to keep anybody from saying anything about Brexit. That's not government. Like, the same thing that is happening in this country. If you think that the only way for you to win is by obstructing government from doing what it's supposed to do, by obstructing citizens from voting, like if you think, less voter turnout means more votes for you, then you're probably doing politics wrong. All right. UK government appeal ruling appears to be recorded London next week. The Court of Session decision overturns an earlier ruling that the court which said the last week Mr. Johnson had not broken the law. How? Now you got one judge saying they broke the law and some other judge saying nope. Okay. What did the Scottish judges say? Mr. Johnson had previously insisted that it was normal practice for a new government to prorogue a parliament and that it was nonsense to suggest he was attempting to undermine democracy. But the Court of Sessions judges were unanimous in finding that Mr. Johnson was motivated by the improper purpose of stymieing Parliament, and he had effectively misled the Queen in advising her to suspend Parliament. They added, the court will accordingly make an order declaring that the Prime Minister's advice to HM the Queen and the prorogation, which followed thereon, was unlawful and is thus null and no effect. So, there's probably going to be appeal. There's probably going to be, this is probably just not going to be ending. It's probably just going to keep going. But it's really fascinating stuff. I really like the UK Parliament stuff. UK Parliament is much more interesting than our government. Our government, like, they can't even say anything to each other. In the UK Parliament, they boo. They let them know how they feel, right? Trudeau. I want to check on Trudeau. 5 things to know about Canada's election. I love Justin Trudeau. Justin Trudeau is Canada's Obama, and he's not as cool. He's not as smooth, but Trudeau's pretty dope. I mean, look at right here on the front page. He had the Chewbacca socks, right? And he's handsome. That goes a long way. All right. It's the parties have been refining their pitches to voters over the summer and their attacks on opponents. Now the starting gun has been fired. Here are 5 things to know about the Canada's elections. Canada's. Here we go. It's a referendum on Trudeau. After winning a historic come-from-behind victory 4 years ago, Liberal leader Justin Trudeau, 47, is seeking a second mandate. He has kept a number of key promises, from legalizing recreational cannabis, to bringing in a means-tested child benefit program. Program there with an E. Gotta love them Canadians. But he also failed to follow through on some major commitments. Ooh, Trudy, what's going on? A vow to overhaul of Canada's electoral system was dropped, and a pledge to balance the budget this year has been broken. Doesn't every single politician pledge to balance the budget? In actuality, shouldn't they stop making that promise? Because, I mean, like every president has said, we're going to balance the budget. But a balanced budget is not necessarily something that we should be after, is it? Our budget's probably going to constantly be out of balance. Like, Clinton had a surplus. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to have these ups and downs. So, like, balancing the budget as far as, like, what goes in, what, coming out. Here's the thing. We should keep the budget at the way it needs to be in order to supply Americans, supply our countrymen with things that they need. So if we can spend trillions of dollars on military, then we can spend trillions or millions, or probably won't even take that much, billions of dollars on healthcare and taking care of people. And guess what? That healthcare should include dentists and eye care and literally everything. So people should be healthy. It's really just beneficial for your country. Duh. All right. And while the Canadian public had a longer than usual political honeymoon with Mr. Trudeau, he's since lost some of his luster. I don't think so. Trudy, you look good. First, Mr. Trudeau was found to have broken federal ethics rules by taking a tropical vacation to the island owned by Aga Khan, the philanthropist and spiritual leader, in 2016. Really, Trudy? There's probably more to that, but I'm like, okay. Then came a disastrous overseas trip to India, taking place against a backdrop of photo ops showcasing the Trudeau family in elaborate traditional Indian outfits. The trip was light on formal business and ended in controversy when an alleged Canadian Sikh separatist was invited to official events. Then came in a third, the SNC Lavalin affair, a political crisis related to attempts to pressure a former attorney general to cut a deal for a firm facing a corruption trial, which tarnished Mr. Trudeau's personal brand with Canadians. He also faced criticism for buying a $4.5 billion, $3.4 billion, $2.8 billion oil pipeline to help ensure its expansion, and for not canceling a controversial arms deal with Saudi Arabia. Even our heroes suck. That's the problem here, I think, right? Mr. Trudeau says he remains the best option for Canadians who want a progressive government, but he can no longer campaign as an outsider on a promise of change. He now has a record to run on. I mean, that's true. You messed up, Trudy. You could have stuck to your gun. Like, I think that there are obviously some government things, like we're still selling weapons to Saudi Arabia, who, mind you, helped with 9/11, which is today. They helped 18 years ago. They helped with 9/11, and we're still selling stuff to them. Canada's doing the same thing. Why? Because it helps us. Because we make money from it, obviously. All right. Fresh faces. I don't really care about these people. I mean, look, conservative, we don't want that. The New Democratic Party, that might be interesting. Green Party of Canada. Climate change is a big deal. That's going to be big for the Canadian. Like, it's going to be big for everybody. All right? Who's ahead, who's behind? I think Trudeau's probably going to win this one, but we'll have to see how it goes. Is there anything else newsworthy? Let's take a look. News is boring right now. Let's move on. All right, into movies and TV. Let's see if there are any brand new movie trailers. The Addams Family. Goodness. So I've been trying to work up one thing that I've been doing is I watched all of the Tarantino movies. I still have to watch Django Unchained. I'm going to get there. But I watched all the Tarantino movies, and I got to say, I like Tarantino now. I didn't like him very much before, but I like him now. I got a more appreciation for what he's trying to do, for what he's doing. He's clearly an artist, and I think that he's unapologetic about that. So that's pretty good. How would I get audio to come in through this, though? Would I be able to get audio coming in from the window? Chrome? No, it's probably just visual. All right, that's fine. We're going to stay away from that movie to TV. I've been watching Mindhunter on Netflix. Mindhunter. That was a pretty good show. It's been very slow, but I think because of Tarantino's movies that I've recently watched, because of the pacing of them, I've kind of adapted a little bit better, better understanding or better patience when it comes to slower movies, right? So I feel like that's transferred a little bit over to Mindhunter and some of those slower paced shows. I watched The Boys on Amazon. The Boys was great. It was a fucked up show. I'll tell you that right now. It's a superhero show, essentially like rated R. It's a TV show, so it's Amazon. But Amazon and Netflix, all those shows that will just, they make their own stuff, they're basically R. It's TV MA. A lot of heads getting smashed, a lot of people just dying. I mean, think about superheroes and how superheroes would be if they were awful. Like all the superheroes that we like have moral codes. Even the villains that are enticing have moral codes. But these villains, these superheroes are essentially, they grew up feeling special and everyone told them they were special, and they're sociopaths. Like they're just self-centered, complete, narcissists. And so it was a super interesting take on the whole superhero thing and how the public interacts with them and how they're essentially just celebrities. But it was a really, really great show. I suggest checking that out. Do not watch it with kids. Other than that, good stuff. So, Mindhunter, The Boys on Amazon, and I'm not really excited for any new movies coming out. But we'll keep checking back on new movies and see how it's going. There's a few things that are kind of, I don't know. We're in a kind of a dull time for movies, I would say. So let's move on to music is fun. All right. I want to play a song just because we can. And that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to bring up the music. Swinging a microphone. Hello. All right. Turn that one on. Got my guitar pick. Oh, yeah. This is a good one. Okie doke. So, this is a song. This is a song called Say You Won't Let Go by James Arthur. I'm just going to play it. We're going to have some fun. And this is going to be the, after this, we're going to have some final thoughts, and that'll be the show. Nice little short show. When it's just me, it's harder to do more stuff. But with Sean here, we could do more stuff, so.
met you in the dark. You lit me up. You made me feel as though I was enough. We danced the night away. We drank too much. I held your hair back when you were growing up. Then you smiled over your shoulder. For a minute I was so cold and sober. I pulled you closer to my chest, and you asked me to stay over. I said I already told you. I think that you should get some rest. I knew I loved you then, but you'd never know, 'cause I played it cool when I was scared of letting go. I know I needed you, but I never showed. And I wanna stay with you until we're gray and old. Just say you won't let go. Just say you won't let go. I'll wake you up with some breakfast in bed. I'll bring you coffee with a kiss on your head. I'll take the kids to school, wave them goodbye, and I'll thank my lucky stars for that night. When you looked over your shoulder, for a minute I forget that I'm older. I wanna dance with you right now. Whoa, and you look as beautiful as ever, and I swear that every day you're getting better. You make me feel this way somehow. And I'm so in love with you, and I hope you know, darling, your love is more than worth its weight in gold. Look how we've grown, and I wanna stay with you until we're gray and old. Just say you won't let go. Just say you won't let go. I wanna live with you even when we're ghosts, 'cause you were always there for me when I needed you the most. And I'm gonna love you till my lungs give out. I promise till death we part, like in our vows. So I wrote this song for you. Now everybody knows that it's just you and me until we're gray and old. Just say you won't let go. 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 There's that. Well, thank you all for tuning in for Mourning in the Morning. My name is Nick. Sean will be back on Friday. Catch me tomorrow morning, probably around the same time. And thanks for hanging out. This was fun, and I hope we can do this again sometime.